Hi everybody, I'm Aphrodite with Starfire. Welcome to my channel. As you know, I am very inspired and vibing with with Anna from the channel Anna Grace, but her bigger channel is Mind Forward. And her latest video on her Mind Forward channel, where she reads tarot and kind of channels Holy Spirit, she was talking about the gel and how the electricity will like propel us and guide us. I'm gonna include the part I'm referring to at the end of this video, so you can see the correlation of what I'm talking about. But what she was talking about, immediately I thought of electrophoresis. And this is a type of test that I've performed many times, but it's done in molecular biology. It's done to separate different DNA fragments or DNA from RNA. It's used to separate different proteins. So I have a bachelor's degree in human biology, so I did this like in my bacteriology class and I think some other biology classes, like immunology I think I did it in. And then I also did it when I did a cancer research internship where I worked in a lab for 3 months doing research on proteins that signal cancer. And so this test is done on a gel called an agar gel, and it's a clear gel. You might have done this test if you've I don't think they really do it in high school, but if you've done a college course in biology, you might have done this test where they gave you all of the supplies. A higher level college biology course, I'm sure. But the gel is a clear agar gel, and it's laid horizontal. I'll kind of try to make it a little like 3D here. Okay, and there's wells in this clear gel. It's about maybe like a centimeter thick, and then there's these little wells in the center. And then from the side, like this is clear, it'll kind of like dip down the well. But it won't go all the way to the bottom of the gel. So they're little pockets, little holes in the gel that's already made. In the higher level biology courses or in actual labs, you make this gel yourself. It's like a cellulose agar gel. So then you take your samples in your pipetter, which is a device to suck up liquid in micro amounts, microliters, and you have different samples of proteins or DNA that you want to separate. You want to see the differences. So this is like if you want to look and see which proteins have positive charges, which proteins have negative charges, how big the protein is, or how small the protein is. So you'd inject your samples into these wells, and then this gel is sitting like in a plastic container with liquid sloshing around. So that's like the gel is inside this container, and then you have hookups for like this will be the positive, and then this will be the negative. These are the alligator clamps. okay? And then this is connected to your battery, right? Okay, like that. So here's your gel. It's laying in like a tray of clear liquid, of water, and then here's your wells with your protein samples. And then you connect it to the electricity, okay? Now, so now the current is going from positive to negative, right? And now your proteins are going to move with the current. So your negatively charged proteins are going to start moving towards the positive. So you might have this one will end up here, this one will end up here, this one, so this one maybe it has a positive charge, so it's going to go towards the negative. The negative side is the anode, the positive side is the cathode. So maybe this one is positively charged as well, and it goes here. This one is negatively charged, so it goes all the way to the positive side here. This one maybe is just like a little bitly negatively charged, so it just goes this. This one is neutral, so it just stays here. See, so then once you have your electricity running through, your proteins or DNA will move depending on their charge and their size. So if the protein is really, really bulky, it probably it won't travel as far as a really small protein. Whereas, but this is mostly for charge. So like the more negatively charged, it will go farther to the positive. The more neutral, if it's neutrally charged, it will stay in the middle. And then if it's more positively charged, it will go farther. So if it's like, if it has a weak charge, it won't travel very far away from the middle. So, and then there's another way of doing this test where you make the gel so that the gel itself has a gradient of density. So the gel is run vertically, and you have the gel with all the wells like at the bottom. Like that. And this is like if you know like all of your proteins are negatively charged, like usually DNA is always negatively charged. So like if you had, this is like a Western blot, I believe is done this way. So like say if I had a sample and of DNA, and I cut the DNA in a certain spot and I amplified it. So now I have a bunch of different segments of different sizes. I have like short segments, I have long segments, and then I like have the segment that I really want to look at, that I like testing for, that I amplify, that I made a lot of. So how do you like separate out the different size DNAs? Well, you do this type of test. You put your samples in, and then you, this is like kind of done from memory too. But so they're all the same charge. You set up your electricity, and then they'll go to different levels based on their size. So because the density of the agar changes to where I believe the thicker, it's more dense at the bottom. So it's like this, and then it gets like lighter and lighter and lighter and then lighter and very, very light up here. The agar is in like a lattice work, like it has different pores in it, but it's denser down here. So the bigger pieces of DNA will be trapped, and they'll only travel as far as they can go based on their size. So a really small piece of DNA, like the one you're really wanting to get, that you're like tested for, that you want to amplify, is usually the smaller pieces. Those will shoot up straight to the top because they can get through all of the density of the thick agar down here and make it all the way up. And then later you like do a protein transfer. After this is done, you like put a piece of cellulose membrane on it, and that transfers the protein onto this piece of cellulose. And then your proteins, you have like a biomarker on there, like the sample that you have like have a biomarker on, and you treat that cellulose with this radiolucent antibody that will pick your specific DNA, and then that will light up under UV light because it will only attach to that band. So it will be like a band like right here. This is all the DNA you want. The antibody will stick to that piece, and then you can cut out that piece of cellulose and have your pure DNA in a sample that you cut. That's the small segment that you want. So that's how the test works. So I'm going to put it on Anna's video now. She talks about the honey, thick nectars, and the waters above. I believe that this is how possibly we're going to get raptured. It's going to be based on our charge. So if you can, try to keep like, it's not only like keeping the light or being a light bearer, it's about keeping this charge, like this positive attitude, like trying not to complain, like keeping a happy-go-lucky attitude. So when this electricity current is established, you go towards the right pole. Because if you're caught in that negative space, you might stay here in the thickness, or we can travel through the thickness because we are light and because we have that airiness to us, whereas the others are going to stay in the density. Okay, here's Anna.
You are going to be able to walk as you are conscious, awake, and walking in your everyday life, because you are a completely new creature inside and out. Okay? You are walking. You are the walking channel. The walking channel. This magnetism, this power, this energy is flowing through you completely to where you are going to be walking in a world where your reality is completely different. And you're going to notice little things. But you are a walking, I wish I could describe to you the feeling, you guys. You're walking in the ethers. We talked about this honey, the air being thick like honey, because the light, the ether, the plasma is all around you. You are walking through it. This is why the others are suspended. They can't walk through this thick honey. They can't walk through it. We fly. It is our conduit. It's our medium. It's our, what was the word last video? Vehicle. It's our vehicle. Do you want to see what I'm saying? It's like the electricity. Guys, listen to this. We are in this thick gel, and it's spiritual ether and plasma. It's filled with power. The others in the 3D world can't navigate it. They can't push their way through this gel. It's our conductor. To us, it's a conductor. It transports us automatically to where we are supposed to be. Okay? It works with our new body, and this is so amazing. I wish I could draw it for you. So it's like you touch the edges of the ether, and the energy is in the ether, and it transports you right through. Okay? This is why you are able to move quickly through these heavy, thick, honey-like ethers. And the other people who are not yet calibrated, because they will be, get suspended because they cannot move. They can't move through the gel. So cool. Okay, you are awake and channeling. You don't have to be in a trance. You don't have to be in meditation. Your life, you are living it. You are in it. It looks really, really cool what you're in. Very cool. Okay, all this fairy tale like energy in it. It can be, okay? And Jupiter takes that and multiplies it by 100. So Neptune, no wonder this is the waters above. That's what they look like. This thick gel of ether and plasma. Honey. That's what the waters above look like. No wonder. The waters below is the ocean, the abyss. We already went through that. That's Lucifer. We already went down there, met Lucifer, conquered him, overcame the enemy, just like Jesus. We're done with the waters below. We are walking in the waters above, and it's a good thing because the whole earth is coming into the waters above. The air is getting thick. The water is getting heavy. There's something in water, okay, is H2O. There's something at the bottom of the ocean that is so heavy that the pressure down there is so heavy that water turns into, I think it's called D2O. D2O. Okay? That's the waters above. They're thick. This is awesome, you guys. Thank you for sticking with me for so long. I hope you gained something from these. I hope it's worth it for you. I love you. I will see you in the next video.